Hello, I'm Jo Good, and this is the SheerLuxe show dedicated to our wonderful gold viewers. Coming up on today's show, I catch up with the queen of daytime television, the wonderful Lorraine Kelly. Ceramic artist and fashionista Deborah Brett gives us a hosting tips, plus interview with possibly one of the strongest women that I have met, Lottie Clarke, and her very important fight. But first of all, let me introduce my fabulous guest today. I'm joined by actress Michelle Collins, podcast host and presenter Lisa Snowdon, and CEO of This Works, Anna Persuad. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello.
Anna, you said on the way down, it's bin day today.
Bin day. We got caught behind the bins today on our way into the studio, but we love a Tuesday.
I don't think I've ever started the show with this. Have you put your bins out, girls?
Not yet, mine's a Thursday.
Oh, my husband does the bins.
Oh.
George does it too.
Don't do the bins.
Yeah.
No, that's one thing I don't do. No.
Talking of husband, congratulations, because you have been recently married.
I think, it's 2 years now, but I suppose that's quite recent. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's because I know him through the dog world.
I know, you do, yes.
Michelle and I are huge dog. Do you all have dogs?
Yes.
No, not yet.
Lisa?
It's on our list
Have
of
you got a
things
cat,
to do.
Lisa?
No, I've got no pets.
No animals?
No kids, no pets. I can barely look after
why
myself.
she looks amazing.
Listen,
We're going to get you a cat or a dog, Lisa,
Oh my
okay?
God, my
I had-
Christmas gift. Yeah, Michelle.
truly, I don't have kids and I don't have a partner, and I have a dog just to have a heartbeat in the flat, you know? Otherwise, it's just me and the
Some
plants.
warmth and some
Yes.
love.
Absolutely.
No, we want to get a dog, but we just need to be at home more, because I don't think it's fair to just
Yeah.
obviously get a dog and then be
Yeah.
away travelling. So
Yeah.
there is a plan, it's just we haven't quite got there yet.
This is amazing, having the three of you here on this sofa, because if we look at women, I always say women's lives come in chapters. We're very lucky. Physically, we have chapters. And I think also on our journey, we have chapters. And I was thinking, Zoe Ball walked out of her Radio 2 show, left. Damn it, they didn't give it to me. But she walked off after, how many years was she doing it? 6, I think. And she said, I just want to spend more time with my family. And I'm not sure if you're aware of Debbie Joseph, the one-time editor of Glamour. She celebrated her 50th birthday on a trip, came back, got off the flight and resigned and said, I'm fed up with making money for other people. We're all making money, whether it's for ourselves or other people. Can I ask, I'm going to kick off with you first of all, Michelle. You have a hugely successful career, damn it, far better than mine ever was. But how do you feel about the ageing process and the goals that you want to achieve and the ones that you have?
Yeah, I think particularly though with my career, you're always changing roles as an actor anyway. You're never doing, well, unless you're in a soap opera, which I'm at the moment, but generally, you know, I kind of prefer to be a jobbing actor in a sense, because I kind of just like to do different things and to kind of evolve. And I think that's, you know, it was years ago that everyone did the same job forever and ever, and I don't think we do, and women have come a long way. And also, you know, 50, kind of 60 was the new 30, isn't it? You know, it's like you suddenly get to 50, your kids are maybe grown up, and you completely change your life, and you want, you know,
Different things
in life, and maybe, and also, you know, we forget about empty nest syndrome. You know, my daughter went when I'm 62, so.
Are you really?
I am,
Bloody
yes.
hell.
Am I allowed to be here?
I
Am I
know.
allowed to be here?
You look amazing.
62. So when I was 50, and I only got one daughter, and I had very bad empty nest syndrome, and so my daughter went off to uni, and I stupidly did Bear Grylls, which was like, I just thought,
Torture.
Oh no, it was. I mean, talk about doing something out of your comfort zone. Yeah. And it was a challenge. But I am always one of these people that wants a constant challenge.
Yeah.
I think also it depends. You know, people have also financial things. It depends on your financial situation. Let's be honest here. I'm sure they're both quite comfortable, thank you, and they can probably afford to change, I don't know, their lives. But I think it's really important for me also as an actor to keep on being creative, to keep on changing. It keeps you young. Yeah. It really does.
Yeah. I mean, I followed your career, obviously, and you, because you've always been glamorous, forgive me, you've always been glamorous, and as somebody who was cast for their looks originally, isn't it wonderful now that you're just cast because of what you are and because of your age and your status?
I remember someone said to me, you know, because as an actor, you know, I've had my ups and downs, like everybody, and age has a big effect on an actor's life, particularly a woman, not so much a man. Sure. And I remember saying to this particular agent, you know, what is it? Why am I? And he said, well, the thing is, you're a bit too glamorous. And you kind of go, well, what do you mean? What's the problem with being? I don't understand that. So it can often be seen as being kind of detrimental
Negative,
to you.
yeah.
What do you mean? What does glamorous mean? You know, I was kind of a young punk, and I love fashion, and I love kind of just, it doesn't define my life, but I enjoy it.
Yeah. Can I bring Anna? Anna, you, unlike, although we are all freelance, but you now are at the helm, you are CEO of your own company. That's a worrying place, a stressful place, but is it also quite nice because you answer to no one else?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking back, when I turned 50, my business was owned by a cannabis business. So I was actually working in the cannabis sector, yeah? So This Works was part of that organisation. And at the time, I was probably one of the oldest, if not the oldest, kind of exec. Everyone was very young. Cannabis was super exciting. It was like a gold rush, and everyone was jumping into the sector. And it was the beginning of COVID. And I thought, oh my God, I'm 50, it's COVID, I'm in cannabis, and I'm still running a beauty business. You know, where's this going to take me? And it was interesting because, you know, in the beauty industry, there are a lot of men at the top. That's always been the case. Many more women than there used to be, but in cannabis, it was definitely a man at the top. And I found myself sitting in this kind of new world of cannabis thinking, I'm not sure that they've got this right. This all feels a bit crazy. Everyone's going a bit nuts. They've got these massive ideas. And, you know, I question myself. I don't know about you, but I have imposter syndrome. I quite often think, oh, God.
Massive.
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
Sure, I should be here. Don't really.
Absolutely, yeah,
Do you-
I do.
I mean, I think it's super common amongst women, and I definitely felt that in this
Is
new
that your
world.
background? Is that being your upbringing, or
Yeah,
what?
yeah. It was, you know, it was been very much about, you know, kind of put your head down, get on, work hard. So you ladies have been like in the media, and you know, I watched you both. I think you're both amazing. But I've been like the nerd. I'm a nerd, cracking on being a nerd, and
Very glamorous nerd, I might say.
You pass your exams. I don't even have an A level. But
But to go back to the beauty, so why are there so many men at
Men.
the top in the beauty industry? Because you kind of go, oh, really?
well, I think it comes back to, you know, women having children, and they.
And when they leave to go and have kids, and when they come back, they often don't go in the same positions as they were.
Well, they don't get so readily promoted because they need to take time out to look after their children. The stresses are there. It's very difficult to be an exec and hold the role of mother and, you know, full-time business leader. I've done it, and it's really, really hard. It definitely affected my mental health. It was very difficult to do
where you
both.
are now, because you have children, don't you?
Yeah, I have a 20-year-old but I have a 12-year-old. So I've got two different decades.
And do you still feel you're juggling everything, or is there a rhythm to it all now?
No, I'm still juggling, but I think the difference by being, you know, in your 50s is now I don't question myself as much. As I did when I was younger. So from a career point of view, at this stage, I'm much more likely to speak my truth.
Right.
And not take the bullshit, because I've just heard it too much over so many years. You get used to going, oh, that's just rubbish, isn't it?
Noise. Yeah. Gosh, fascinating. Lisa, like Michelle, I've listened to you. I followed you. We both share.
Following me. You're the one that's following
I've
me.
been stalking you around Essex. We also both work on this morning, but we passed. We're like, but I've seen you out doing reports outside. You have always managed to reinvent yourself really successfully. Does that come from you, or do you have an entourage? Do you have someone guiding you?
No, I don't have anybody guiding me. It's definitely come from me. And kind of like you, I've had imposter syndrome all my life, and it's such a weird thing. And when I turned 50, I kind of stepped into this new energy, this new power, and I was like, I need to stop being scared. I need to start owning it. Like those 50 years have gone so quickly. What's the next 50 years? And I'm going to keep holding myself back from doing things because I'm scared, I'm afraid what people think. So I wrote a book, turned 50, wrote a book called Just Getting Started, which was my kind of mantra turning 50, being like, I'm just getting started, bring it on, what's next? And so I wanted to do things that scared me. I did MasterChef, and I ended up winning
You
it.
did well.
I ended
Oh my God, I was at first. It was awful.
I mean, that's pressure, right?
Me
It was
and
quite a
cooking
lot.
are not a good match.
I remember
I love
remember
cooking.
Michelle in COVID, you filmed yourself cooking. You used to put it
I
up there.
couldn't go to anybody to get, to get some lessons, and it was just awful. But you were brilliant. Anyway, sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, I love you interrupting.
It was
but
terrible.
it is quite. I mean, it was a lot of pressure, but I ended up just every time I felt extreme pressure, I just giggled. I got like a weird reaction rather than like run out the door and like try and drink wine while I'm cooking, which is like obviously my happy place at home.
It's true, yeah. So it's TV. So what? No one's died.
Yeah,
That's the kind of attitude you've got to go.
So I just giggled. I had like a really weird reaction. So I want to embrace things. I want to do more things, but at the same time, I kind of get where Zoe's coming from. I want a nice work-life balance. I've got to 50. I've worked my arse off, kept reinventing myself, kept sort of like changing direction here and there. So I kind of also want to say yes to the right things and say no and be really.
Saying no is really hard, isn't it?
powerful.
It's learning to
say
say no.
because you get so excited and so flattered. You just think, oh my God, someone wants me.
Yes.
I'll just say, can you just look into that camera and tell everyone the name of your podcast?
My podcast is called Just Getting Started. Oh no, that's my book. Sorry, book's Just Getting Started. My podcast with Andy Goldstein, who is a brilliant drive time presenter on Talksport, and our podcast together is called We're Not Getting Any Younger, and so it's kind of a funny take on. We're not getting any younger, but we're going to try to. Yeah. We're going to try and get all the tips from every longevity expert. We'll also speak to celebrities. Love you guys to come on. And it's his point of view and my point of view on getting older and the different attitudes between men and women. He's amazing. He embraces it all.
How old is he?
He's 51.
Right.
So we're similar ages, we're really good mates, and it's just really quite a funny, light-hearted, lots of swearing, great celebs, great chat.
And everybody must listen.
Everybody must listen.
I absolutely love these three. That was so empowering. Absolutely loved it. Right, next, let's see another mega career woman and what she has to say about life, working, and everything in between. Lorraine Kelly is a television presenter and journalist who's also known for her approachable fashion sense. Her recent collaboration with Bonmarché includes a range of classic pieces that reflect Lorraine's own take on stylish, comfortable and accessible clothing for women of all ages. Well, today she's here to tell us about her style inspiration, the new collection and how to be confident at any age. Welcome, Lorraine.
I love that.
This is not at all intimidating, me interviewing Lorraine Kelly. Can I just say, my family all come from South London.
Right.
And Bonmarché was a store in Brixton that had such kudos to shop in Bonmarché. I'm talking about the 60s and the 70s was a really big deal.
Right, of course, it goes back to there.
Yes, it really does.
I love that history.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And I think it also, what I love about Bonmarché is it follows the trends, but in a very accessible way.
Exactly. Because sometimes we don't want to be slaves to fashion. I think it's really nice to take on trends and to do all of that, but not if it doesn't suit you or you don't feel comfortable in it. So it's all about just taking little bits of inspiration, I think. But for me, the whole collaboration with Bonmarché was about clothes that are affordable, but also stylish, elegant, and comfortable. We want comfort, do we not?
May I just compliment you on this, because it's grey with pearl, which lights your face. Is this part of your collection?
It is. One of the things I wanted to make sure that everybody could wear these clothes. Because, especially these days, what we're like as women. We put ourselves to the bottom of a very long queue with, children, then pets, then husbands, and then everybody else, and then us. And it's true. It's so true.
Great priorities.
So we should be able to treat ourselves. And I wanted to be able to have the pieces so that they all kind of fitted in a way. You can take a piece from here, and it all sort of works as an outfit, and to keep the cost low, but not at the expense of looking really good.
Nothing beats a sweater dress, but I love the way the pearls just reflect light back up onto your face.
I like that.
Yeah, it's lovely.
And of a certain age, we need our own light with us.
Well, we're going to talk about how you manage to look the way you do, doing the hours that you work in just a moment. But for you, the inspiration behind the whole collection, do you go with tones, with colours, with seasons?
I do tend to do that. Obviously seasons, you can have such fun at Christmas time. That's when you can just, it's like being in Strictly Come Dancing, isn't it? When you want to look really good on Christmas Day, but not feel all, trussed up, you want to have a bit of give.
That's what I love about Sweater Dress. Absolutely, a bit to give.
Bit of give is good. For me, one of the things about, because I travel quite a lot, is that you can throw things in a suitcase and you don't have to worry about, is this going to be all right when I take it out? You shouldn't have to work so hard at it in order to because we're all busy.
Yeah.
You know, we've got busy
Well,
lives.
you certainly are busy. Can I just take you back to when I followed your career for many years, and I loved how you always wore jackets.
Yeah.
And you wore colour, and you love colour. Were there any mistakes in your past, do you
How
think?
long have you got for the mistakes that were made? Back in the 80s, we had a boss at TVAM who was all for colour. I managed somehow to wear a jacket that had one sleeve was lime green, one sleeve was lemon, then we had pink, red, purple, all the colours of the rainbow in this one jacket. It was horrific. And I remember I interviewed Liam Neeson wearing that jacket, and the poor man, his retinas were sore looking at me.
And what a waste of a dish as well. He's
I
gorgeous.
know, he's so gorgeous.
Sat like that.
But yeah, no, I've had many a mistake. You know, I would say up until I was about 55, I was getting it wrong more than I was getting it right. And then I think I decided to take it more seriously. I think it was my daughter getting a bit older and going, you know, yikes, mum, you know, step away from that. That's really not good. And her giving me good ideas and not being scared of fashion.
You mentioned your daughter, congratulations, by the way, for becoming a grandmother.
you.
But does she borrow your clothes? Do you borrow hers?
She's got a great sense of style and always has. She always manages to look effortlessly elegant. You know, I don't know how she does it. She helps me, Rosie, and she certainly helped me with this collection because I've said to her, is that going to work? And she can sometimes say, make it a bit longer or a bit shorter. So she's got a really good eye like that.
So interesting, those little details that make all the difference.
It really does. It can make you go from feeling not sure about this to actually, hey, I look pretty good in this.
Yeah. And a pair of jeans. Would you ever wear jeans on telly?
I have done. I think it depends what you wear with them. Because we've done items on jeans, you know, how to get the perfect jean. I always say to people, if you get the perfect one, buy two.
Yeah.
Don't be a slave, you know, don't just think, oh, that's fashionable, I'm going to wear that. You know, because there's some colours I don't really suit. You know, like a sort of muted yellow colour just doesn't do it for me. Now, if that's the colour everybody's wearing, no, don't do it.
I remember, you've forgotten this, I remember interviewing you on the BBC about fitness.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember?
Yes.
And you literally, like today, came bounding in. Do you think that being fit is part of your success? Sorry, that's awful to get you to analyse that.
No,
but
not
do you
at
think
all.
it has a huge part to play in your success?
It does. I'm not as fit as I'd like to be. I still walk, you know, thank goodness for my dog, Angus, but I'm not doing as much as I should. But to be honest with you, just do what you can. I would say if you can go out for a little walk, that's brilliant. Find something that you really like. I love swimming. You really do come out and you feel, honestly, you feel so energised and full of life. You want to do that as girls all together, and then the joy of coming out and having cake and a coffee, especially if you put maybe a wee Baileys in the coffee.
Oh my gosh, how delicious.
Joy.
You have Scotland and you have that respite from a busy city life.
Sure, I do, and I do go home quite a lot, and I always go to Orkney every year I go. It's where I could see myself ending up, you know, especially if I continue writing, which I want to do, to be able to be in London working, and then to be able to be in Orkney working.
So I'm now the oldest radio presenter on the BBC with a regular show.
Wow.
But I'm hanging by my fingernails, Lorraine. You were there doing daytime television of age. You're younger than me, but and you still sit as the queen of it all. And I know I'm flattering you, but it is true. Do you ever worry that it might end?
I used to be honest, I did, because, you know, being a freelancer, you know what it's like, you're living from contract to contract. And when Rosie was really small, in fact, when she was born, and they basically phoned me up a week before and just said, we've got someone else. So that was really scary because, you know, we had a mortgage and we had a baby and we had all of these things, and I thought, what am I going to do? And as luck would have it, I did get asked to do a mother and baby slot on breakfast television. And I kind of thought, oh, you know, all of your instincts are, I'm not doing that, you rotters. But actually, of course, it was the right thing to do.
Good for you.
And from that, I got my own show in January. It's a sliding door moment, but that taught me a very valuable lesson, which was you cannot rely on this crazy world. And you know, and they might want to change the cushions in the studio, or they might want to change the presenter. So I've never taken it for granted. Do you know what I mean?
It is literally like that.
I know. So I've never taken it for granted, and I've got to the stage now. Of course it's going to end at some point. Of course it is, everything does. But if it did now, I would actually, it'd be okay.
Yeah. It's not for me to sit here and analyse your style, but what you do, I mean, everybody I know loves you. And again, I'm not flattering you because you, what I call you pat and slap. Do you know what I mean? You are lovely, and then you'll come in with a...
Sure.
And I think people trust you for that. But without naming names, I mean, well, you can, but I mean, are there some that are like pulling teeth? Are there some interviews you just think, good God, I've run out of things I can actually ask?
Yeah, back in the day, it was very regimented. 10 to 8, you did the pop band, and and then the 8 o'clock, you had to hit the 8 o'clock news. So the pop band, nightmare. Because most of them didn't want to be there.
No.
They didn't. This was in the days before, like, lovely bands like Westlife and Take That, who were, they knew the value of PR. This would be independent bands who were drunk from the night before.
And post-punk.
And hilariously funny. I mean, I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. But it was hard. But the worst thing is if somebody is young, very young, and they haven't really done very much, and maybe it's their first interview, they would tend to give their first interview to me because I'll look after them.
Yeah.
Which is great, and they're always lovely, but they maybe don't have that much to say. And it can turn into something really interesting. Like, always remember interviewing Ralph Fiennes. Now, brilliant guy,
Yeah.
smashing actor. And he sat in the fetal position. He was literally rocking backwards and forwards. And we ended up having this really interesting interview about why he doesn't like being interviewed. It's my job to make them feel comfortable and also that they've done themselves proud. And that's important.
So important.
It really is. It's really
Wow,
important.
yeah.
But politicians, I mean, they're fair game. But I don't like the gladiatorial style of interview because you don't learn anything.
Do you ever have, like with the politician, where when I say you pat and slap, you've patted, then you've slapped, and then they're still sitting there, and you've got to turn and then go into a commercial break, and they're still sitting there. Is that not the worst feeling in the world?
Sometimes it depends. Usually people are happy to be there because, they're promoting something.
Yeah.
What I think is brilliant is that an awful lot of politicians, particularly politicians, underestimate you. I don't mind that. I don't mind being underestimated.
That's your talent.
Absolutely, because I just think, and you are now on the back foot, but I will let you speak because I think it's important to let politicians speak, and then the viewers, who I am there representing, can make up their own mind.
Well, we all remember you when you were a reporter out, so you're a hardcore journalist, and they probably think they're just going to sit on a sofa and have a lovely cup of tea.
Yes.
But
which sometimes is great.
It
we can
depends
do.
on the
Absolutely, and we do fashion, and we do showbiz, and we do all of these lovely things, but we also do important stories that are happening, but we might do it slightly differently from other shows.
Who have you interviewed who you think has got it just right, fashion-wise?
Style-wise, gosh, I'll tell you, it's women that are a bit older, actually. Meryl Streep, but she doesn't look as if she's made that effort. She doesn't look overcooked. Helen Mirren.
Yeah.
Always. And I always like to see what she's wearing on the red carpet. I love that she'll wear a quite sort of standard, maybe red carpet dress, very beautiful, very elegant, but then she'll put a leather jacket with it.
Yeah.
Or snazzy shoes. She just has got that little edge that makes it go from something that's rather lovely to wow.
I think what you say about not being overcooked, and we had Amanda Wakely on the show, and she came out with this great expression for women of age. She said, have a little bit undone, not meaning a top button, but just something that's not perfect. Don't match the handbag with the shoes, because that's quite aging. Leave something undone.
I agree 100%. And finding a style that you really like, and a colour as well. And also, with I've had the same lady, Helen, doing my makeup for a long time, but she changes it all the time. She'll use brown eyeliner and brown mascara rather
Instead
than
of black.
because black is a little bit harsh. And actually, as you get older, less is more.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that even makeup now has skincare in it,
exactly.
it never used to.
And sun protection and all that.
Just to finish with style and fashion. If you were to highlight 3 pieces for this autumn into winter.
Sure.
From your collaboration,
Yeah.
what would you recommend?
I would definitely recommend this dress.
Yeah, I would.
Because you can wear it with black tights and black boots the way I have, or you can just wear it with shoes. I wanted to do something that wasn't black velvet trousers, so they're blue, they're sort of almost like petrol blue, and there's a blouse that goes with that, which is really lovely. And my favourite is the same sort of colour of dress that's got like silver shot through it. And do you know what, that dress, my mother could wear it, I could wear it, my daughter could wear it.
Absolute star. Thank you, Lorraine, for sharing your insights and inspiration today. It's been absolutely lovely chatting with you. You can shop Lorraine's collection on the Bonmarché website. Isn't she fabulous? We all love Lorraine Kelly. Anyway, Christmas is here, and this is actually the last gold show of the whole year. The decorations are up, the shopping has started, and with all the joy comes the family dynamics. So, girls.
Christmas.
So, Lisa, go on then. Family dynamics.
I'm actually dreading it, and I'm such a traditionalist. I love getting everybody together. I love the kids. You know, both my sisters have got children, but there's always drama.
Why?
There's just always drama. There's like one of the kids, they all end up fighting, then we end up fighting, and there's just always a lot of drama. And so this year I'm really dreading it. And I think
I'm doing, just go away.
I am. I'm
Just
going away
leave
on the
them to it.
26th,
Yeah.
and I'm just going to bail on the. I know. It's
Are you going, sorry, or who you're going with, but
I don't mind.
are you going on your own?
No, I'm going away with George. George and I are going away, and I'm going to see my best friend who lives in Los Angeles. And so we get in on Boxing Day, and then we're going to celebrate Christmas with her and her kids. They're
In
all
LA?
grown up in LA.
Oh my God, I've never been to LA. I know that's ridiculous.
It's going to be warm. It's going to be a bit sunny. It won't be boiling hot, but it will be. They'll decorate the house really beautifully, and it will just be a lovely Christmas day, but in Los Angeles.
Oh wow!
So I'm going to stay away from the family this year, which is going to be really hard.
Is that? Will you have guilt?
I will have guilt, and I'll feel really sad on Christmas Day, I think.
Because that umbilical will have just been cut.
Absolutely.
You're
Just
having Christmas Day with them?
No.
Oh, right.
I'm going to just, no.
I said, so
There's been a few things that have happened, and we're just having some time out and some space.
Yes.
I don't want to go.
Let's not talk families.
No, I don't want to.
Can we just scrap this whole conversation?
I tell you what you can do is watch EastEnders on Christmas Day.
On Christmas
You can get on BritBox in LA.
Oh no, I'm going to be at home on
Okay,
Christmas
you'll be
Day.
at home, right? Of
Yeah,
course,
I'll watch you.
yes.
Excellent.
It's the big, kind of classic. Am I interrupting again?
No,
Tell me. No, tell me. I want to know. Distract me from my miserable Christmas and tell me about yours.
Christmas, yeah. I mean, I won't be watching. I don't watch myself.
Come on, it's a Christmas
Oh no, I hate
special.
watching myself. Can't bear watching myself on telly. No, not really. Or if I did have to see something, I'd have to watch it on my own. I'm
Can I just
far
say,
too critical.
you are very good.
I'll
just tell you that,
The
you are
last
good.
time I watched myself, I was all right. Yes, so, well, I'm actually, I don't know if anyone's been, I was away for 25 years and I've gone back playing the same character because someone said to me, are you still playing the same character? You're like, well, of course I am.
That would be so weird. You come back and you're somebody else.
So I am back and yes, so and I'm in the big kind of story over Christmas, and it's a classic EastEnders Christmas Day.
Amazing.
Yeah,
See, that's the drama I need.
It won't be
That's all I need.
disappointing.
They have
Yes,
always
but-
delivered on Christmas Day.
Absolutely.
Haven't they?
Yeah,
Always.
absolutely.
They
That is
have.
the appointment to watch.
Yeah, and it's just in between Gavin and Stacey, which is apparently the last one, so
very
it's going to be
yeah.
really good. Yeah, but I won't be here because I'll be away as well. Like Lisa, I'm going to be watching
And
it.
who are you going away with?
So I'm not doing family either because, like Lisa, I've got family dynamics as well, so I won't talk about that. So I'm going to stay with a really, really good girlfriend of mine who lives in the south of France, and she's got a country house, and there's about 20 of us going. So
lovely.
But I am, just in case you're thinking about burglaring my house, I have got someone staying to look after my dogs.
And she has dogs
Because
that are
I always
alarmed.
think of that when people say, well, I'm going
God,
away.
yeah.
So I am doing that, and we're probably going for, we're actually going for 5 days. And then we come back for 2 days, and then I'm going away to Spain.
God, how grown up.
And then I go back to work. Well, I get 2 weeks off.
Yeah,
That's very
wow.
grown up. It's like having a normal job.
And also, honestly, having 2 weeks off, knowing you've got employment when you come back
Oh,
is
honestly,
such a luxury.
dream,
it's
right?
so good in my industry. Yeah. It's,
So, Anna, the spotlight is on you. Are you going to have a happy family Christmas that none of us are having?
Well, I mean, I'd say this, for us in the beauty industry, Christmas is the biggest time of the year. It's when all the money comes in. So I will be holding my breath.
Yeah.
Because if the sales don't come in, then it's going to be super tricky. So, yeah, everyone start spending when you're bored after lunch on Christmas Day, on the website, shop away.
and you've got a 12-year-old who must still love Christmas?
Yeah, I took him to, the best thing I
you've
ever
forgotten about
did.
him.
Him. I haven't forgotten about you, babe. The best thing I ever did was take him to Lapland.
Oh, yes, I went to Lapland with my daughter. Isn't it
The
amazing?
real Lapland.
Yes,
Yeah.
you get there and it's dark, isn't it?
And you put those suits
Oh,
on.
it's amazing,
You must do it,
isn't it?
honestly. It
It's
doesn't
on my
matter.
own.
Yes,
Imagine.
I'll come with you.
Hi, I'm here.
I'll come with you. You don't
Can we
have to have a
friends
child.
for Joe to go to
We need a
Lapland?
friend.
I'll go, Joe. I loved it.
Podge will come, the producer.
So
But
cute.
just Santa come out? When
Yeah.
I would cry if I saw Santa. I would
it's
cry.
I mean, he's got his whole ice hotel. You've got reindeer.
Go tobogganing and all that kind of stuff.
So
And,
nice.
and also you can see the Northern Lights. You can see the Northern
And
Lights.
it's 24 hours.
beautiful.
It's one day. Did you do it in one day?
No, we did, I think, 3 days. I did one, I've been twice, one day, and then I think I did like 3 days. But it's like minus 36.
Yeah.
It is so cold. If you go out without your glove on, it's completely freezing.
I loved it. There and back in the day, within the day. Anyway, so that was
Anna,
what I
I'm
liked.
so pleased you've rescued this moment because there's going to be a happy
Some
family.
happy vibes,
Christmas is
everybody.
back. The rest of us is leaving everybody. Anyway, continuing the theme of hosting, the uber chic Deborah Brett gives us now tips on entertaining at home this festive season. You'll love this.
Hi, I'm Deborah. Come and see how I entertain at home. So the first thing when guests arrive is we all head into the kitchen, and it means that I can carry on sort of tweaking the dishes and friends can grab a glass of mulled wine, or I really love a winter Pimm's, that's my favourite. I love the Italian way of eating, which is getting the best quality you can, but really focusing on the simplicity of the food. So we've got lovely charcuterie, a hunk of parmesan, which I think is always so lovely and satisfying to sort of cut a chunk off and then eat it. Lovely bowls of olives and mixed nuts that I make. And then I really enjoy doing a baked camembert. The smell is fantastic. And then dipping it with some crusty bread makes for a really lovely shared way of starting the evening. Main courses, I'm also a fan of sharing platters. I think everyone has their own peculiarities when it comes to what they want to eat. So I really enjoy guests passing the food down or placing them on my raised platters, because of course then I can put them in the center of my table. People can then help themselves when they want. Finally, desserts. I'm a huge fan of a tarte tatin, an incredibly difficult dessert to make, but so satisfying when you get it right. So what I love about hydrangeas is that you can buy them in advance, actually let them dry out. They're just as beautiful. I like to go and daub them in PVA glue, and it comes out white, so you can see it. But then when it dries clear. Sprinkle over the glitter and it'll catch on the PVA and stick to the hydrangea, giving it this lovely festive Christmas twinkle for your table. And then just give it a good shake, get rid of that excess glitter, and it's ready to put in your vase. So I love dining by candlelight. I don't overdo the scent, but I love one scented candle in the room just to sort of add to the eucalyptus smell. Then I love having all these gorgeous tapered and cone candles, and they really add to the ambiance and the energy of the room. Makes it very cozy and clandestine almost. I am a big believer in placement. I like to be a bit personal, and for Christmas I love baking gingerbread. It's a very German thing, Lebkuchen, and I make little biscuits and then ice them with my guests' names. It's something fun that my kids help me do, but it doesn't have to just be baking. Often I've done a bauble and maybe I've painted their name on, or you might just want to do it on a little note card, but tie it with ribbon and wrap it around your napkin, and maybe then pop a little sprig of berries or a little sprig of rosemary as a little placement sort of detail. It looks really beautiful and festive. So creating a centerpiece, a focal point of your dinner table is key. It really sets the mood, gets your guests excited. I like to make sure that the heights are low, medium and high. Nothing too high which is blocking your guest across from you, but high enough that you can sort of peek through. I do that through my candle heights, through flowers. Another thing I really love doing is adding food onto a centerpiece. It really breaks the ice when you're talking to someone leaning across and nabbing a chocolate or a little biscuit or a piece of fruit from the platter. It also makes it feel very informal. If you're chatting for quite a long time and waiting for courses, it's really enjoyable to be able to nibble on something. Another thing I like to do is not just to think of flowers for decoration, but But think about fruit. I love painting my fruit, especially with spray paint. And I've spray painted these pomegranates. They look so full and luscious, and even more festive being sprayed silver. What to wear to your special night? Well, as the hostess, you have carte blanche to wear whatever it is you want to wear. I have often hosted parties specifically for an outfit. I've had this amazing ball gown, and where could I wear it? So I hosted my own dinner for the ball gown, made everyone dress up. I think dressing up is so much fun. I don't get to do it enough in my everyday life. So actually making that effort to be glamorous and wear something really beautiful makes the whole dinner feel even more special. The key though is comfort. There's room to eat. Nothing is pinching. I hope you've enjoyed some of my tips on how to entertain with ease. I'm off now to get ready for my guests. Have a great Christmas.
Oh, can we come to all your Christmas parties, Deborah, please? What a gorgeous home. Now, keeping healthy during party season, we're going to discuss next, and of course, alcohol. So, do you drink? If you drink, how much do you drink? Have you given up drink? What is your approach? Okay,
Why do I start laughing?
And why did I suddenly look at Michelle? So, no. Michelle and I have worked together. I don't remember us ever going on a bender. We didn't, did we?
We haven't.
Do you drink?
I drink. I drink very occasionally when I'm working because I can't remember lines. If I've got a hangover, I just can't. I don't know about you. I can't do hangovers anymore. I find it really hard, and I like to have a clear mind. I mean, if I'm doing a play, when I did a tour of Cluedo, I didn't drink for 6 months. Wow. I just literally, my energy is so much better,
sleep.
Sleep. Well, I'm terrible insomnia anyway. I mean, I really do not sleep. My life is terrible. Yeah. I mean, I've just kind of gone with it now. I really don't sleep. So alcohol and no sleep on top of that, and filming is not good. But I've got 2 weeks off of Christmas, so I will. Yeah, I'm going to have a few drinks. I'm going to. I'm not feel guilty about it.
What's your tipple?
Oh, a bit of fizz. I do like a bit of
Yeah,
fizz.
same.
Love a bit of fizz.
I actually think it's healthy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't promote that.
It's less inflammatory. Champagne.
Is it?
Yeah,
champagne.
Fizz and a bit of red wine, which would do me fine.
Lisa?
Do you know what? I love alcohol. And
Thank you.
Champagne is good. It's a little less calorific, I think, than the red and the white, which I also really like. And I love tequila. I love a Blanco tequila with watermelon juice or a soda and lime. Apparently, if you have
a shot and it perks you up,
yes,
doesn't it?
because it's a happy,
What, watermelon?
Or
No,
tequila.
Because it's natural. It's from agave, so it's the less processed, I think, out of all the alcohol.
Which one do you drink? What's the best tequila?
I drink Casa Dragones, which is delicious. It's like a female distillery in Mexico, and it's amazing.
Oh my God.
I know, I'm a real tequila expert. But
You don't look like you drink, does she? Her
no, do
skin
you know why?
really
Because
skin.
I haven't drank for 5 weeks. I've had a clean out for 5 weeks. I went to a detox place, so they recommended that I stop drinking coffee and just stop drinking alcohol for a week beforehand. And I'm on my 5th week now. And
have you not had any coffee in 5 weeks?
No coffee, no
do that.
alcohol.
I'm like you, who drank the
can't do
producer's coffee.
I did, yeah.
She drank the wrong coffee.
But
Did you get a headache? Sorry.
Headache, yes, from the coffee, not from the alcohol. Alcohol is easy. The hardest thing for me is sugar. I love my sugar too much. But hormones and alcohol and coffee, for me, it just doesn't
So what do you
mix.
have in the morning as a kind of, if you can't have coffee?
I have my hot water and lemon with my collagen in it.
Oh, my so good.
God.
No, bear it.
But how do you get going without...
Do you know what? There's this stuff called Silajat. Have you ever heard of Silajat?
Yes.
It's disgusting. It's like tar. It's a resin. And it's got 84 different trace minerals in it. And you put that in some water and it gives you a real
Well, like
lift.
Bovril, like that.
It's like Bovril, but it tastes even... Like, I like Bovril, but
Yeah.
this tastes quite disgusting. And you put a big glass of water in your face. And I just slam that down. And then, like, maybe a matcha or a green tea or something
And then you
like
have
that.
tequila after that.
And then I have a tequila. Then at 11 o'clock I have a tequila. But I haven't been drinking and I feel so much better. I'm sleeping better.
Okay, maybe I need to give up the coffee.
No, you're fine. Honestly, it was just for the detox, and I will go back to coffee because I love a coffee.
Yeah,
but it was just like this period at the moment. I'm
sounds
not
good.
drinking. I've got my first Christmas thing today that I'm going to, and I'm not going to drink today either. So I'm just going to see how it goes over Christmas when I'm in LA. I'll be drinking all the tequila.
All right.
Don't you worry about
Okay,
that.
follow
But
her
there's
on
another tip
Instagram,
quickly.
everybody.
If you have a clear liquor, so like a gin, a tequila, or I sound like a right alcoholic.
No, go on.
Or a vodka, apparently the liver doesn't see it. So it's not, I know.
Really?
Oh, you mean so don't mix?
It's camouflage.
No,
Well, it's blind to
yes.
clear liquor.
I mean, you have a
Yes,
straight vodka.
If you
Not
have vodka,
looking.
tequila,
It's not looking.
tequila, vodka, anything that's clear.
Just on the rocks. Nothing
Yeah,
with
or
it.
with soda.
I don't know if
or
we
with-
should be giving out this information.
No,
to be
drink
honest.
responsibly, kids. Please drink responsibly. I'm going to
Can
follow
I,
up with that.
Anna, you must be, Anna must be frothing at the mouth at this. Can I just say, Anna, before we go any further, I watched you do this whole thing about how to get an extra hour's sleep a night.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think Michelle
yes.
should follow.
Yeah, I need to talk to you about that.
But does that include give up alcohol?
Yeah, and we were talking about the fact we measure all our data using this aura ring.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Lisa and I both love it. And actually, if you drink and you look at your data, you'll see what it does to your sleep. So it
Even one glass.
It ruins your REM sleep, which is the bit of the night where all the emotional detoxification takes place. So it means you're far less able to control your emotions. And then it also is your deep sleep, which is when your brain deals with memory and consolidating, kind of your learning and so
So will
on.
you not indulge?
No, I will still drink.
Having said that,
Having said that,
But I don't drink, definitely not on school nights either. And I mean, I probably haven't drunk for weeks and weeks, but I still don't sleep. So it's
Yeah.
nothing to do. And I go to bed in fact, I'm going to bed soon because I never sleep.
no, she's working
I
tonight.
generally go to bed about 9 o'clock to be up at 6 to go to
Yeah.
work. And I would always wake up around the same time, 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then hopefully I'll go back to sleep, and then I'll wake up at 6. And that's always, whatever happens, whatever I take, it's weird.
Yeah,
Nothing seems to work.
It's a
I'll
lot
have
to do
to-
with your daytime stress, actually.
We need to chat.
yeah, yeah.
Stress.
And sleep hygiene with your products as well. Your
Yeah,
beautiful pillow
pillow
spray.
spray.
Oh,
and
pillow
like-
Oh,
spray.
is that
Yeah.
you? Pillow
Yeah,
spray?
yeah, yeah.
What's in that?
You don't drink it, by the way, everyone. It's not, don't drink it. Spray
Nothing
it.
about the. Just
Spray
what
it.
is the ingredient in pillow spray that works? That
Lavender?
It's my special fragrance. We made it by looking at the brain. But yeah, lavender's in it.
Wow.
Vetiver and chamomile.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
okay.
It's lovely.
I'm going to be
Deep
dunking
pillow
my
spray.
pillows in that. Thank you, girls. Right. Next is a very powerful story. I met the most wonderful woman yesterday, Lottie Clarke, who very sadly lost her husband, James, to motor neuron disease in April this year. He chose to end his life at Dignitas, and she tells us the reality of what it all means and James' request to change the law around assisted death. Every 8 days, a Briton travels to Dignitas for assistance in ending their life. In 2022, your husband was diagnosed with motor neuron disease, and this April, he chose to end it at Dignitas. This week, Parliament will vote on assisted dying. While you're not a campaigner, you're here today to honour your husband's wishes. And Lottie, we thank you so much because it is so recent.
It is, Jo. Thanks for having me.
Please tell me a little bit about the way you met.
We worked together and we'd hit an incentives trip because we were both working in a sales environment. And I clocked him at the airport as he was about to get on a flight to Atlantic City where we're both going. And I thought, yeah, I really like him. And then that was it. We kind of partied hard that weekend with a bunch of estate agents and came back and I think as somebody said, it was really like Cupid got you that weekend. And yeah, it was. I kind of didn't look back really.
How long into the relationship before you decided to get married?
Not that long. I think it was about 1.5 years.
I mean, he partied hard and he played.
Do you know, when I say we partied hard, we did, but he'd always be the first to leave. He'd have to drag me out kicking and screaming. A great weekend for him would be to put on a pair of trainers and go for a nice 10K and then go to the pub for a lunch and sit with his mates and have a couple of pints, but nothing really more than that. You know, he wasn't a big partier.
But he was healthy and he was sporty.
Really healthy.
Therefore, so when he started to feel less healthy,
Yeah.
and he knew that something was wrong. Can you tell us when he started to realise that his health was failing?
Yeah. So he was 42 and he had quite a stressful job. He worked long hours. And I just put it down to a bit of burnout. And he said to me, my grit's weakening. I can't hold this pan properly. And there were a few episodes where his voice would break slightly, which again, we found quite amusing to begin with. And then he'd do quite a lot of presentations at work. And actually that became quite troubling for him. And then he became quite anxious because he said, I'm really struggling to stand in a room because I'm worried that my voice is just going to break again. And that happened when he was 42. And again, I just thought it was down to burnout.
You had 3 children at the time, or 2?
We did, yeah.
3 children at the time. So you're busy, he's busy.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, his health is slowly getting worse.
Yeah.
So he went to a specialist, is that right?
Yeah, so he started off going to a doctor. And the awful thing about motor neuron disease is that it takes a long, long time to diagnose. And I also think that it's such a horrific diagnosis that I actually think a lot of neurologists will, conduct every test they can to really make sure that they don't have to deliver that news unless they absolutely have to. So it was a long time before we got to that final diagnosis. And that was over the course of about a 10-11 month period.
And had he been Googling it? Did he?
He had been Googling it, yeah. Unbeknownst to me, yes, he'd been Googling it. And he actually walked into the neurologist's office after he'd had a lot of tests with GPs, and they referred him to a neurologist. And he said to the neurologist, I think I have motor neuron disease. And the neurologist said to him, don't be ridiculous. I've been doing this job for over 20 years. I can categorically tell you, you do not have motor neuron disease. And I think, yeah, that for me hits hard to this day.
So when did you get that final diagnosis?
So we got that final diagnosis in December 2021.
He found out the final diagnosis on his own?
He did, yeah. Because we'd been through months and months of these sort of tests, by the time we got to this point, he thought he was just going to be referred to somebody else again. So he went to that appointment because it was a busy time of year. It was December. One of the children had a carol concert, and he said, I think it's important you go to that. So I was literally getting ready to go to that in my bathroom, and he called and he said, I've got it. I've got motor neuron disease. And that's, yeah, those words sort of will haunt me for the rest of my life, really. And even then I thought it'll be okay. We'll find a way. We'll find a way through this. We'll get through it.
That night, the two of you, the kids are in bed. What was that discussion? What was his outlook? What was his thought process on it?
So I remember vividly that night, him lying in bed and him saying to me, the night I die, will you gather up the children and will you get together in our bed? And that is, I think, the only thing I really remember from that night, that conversation. It's so strange, isn't it?
But was he given a time limit? Did he know how long he had?
Yes, he's a real facts man. So for James, it was about knowing what he was dealing with. And he said to the neurologist then, I need to know how long I've got. And he said, go and do what you can in 2 years. I remember thinking the children will be, X, Y, and Z years, and that's not that far away.
You told the children, apart from the youngest?
We did, yeah. We took a few weeks to just digest that information, because I think we were then going through a huge amount of grief ourselves. We're grieving the life that we'd lost together, our future together. And then we broke the news to the children, yeah. And the older two, we told them, Daddy's got a terminal diagnosis, but he's okay at the moment. Well, he's as okay as he can be, and he's going to do everything to fight. We'll take every trial we can take, and he'll be here as long as he can be here for. And that was really when we set about memory making and travelling. And it was very important for him that he left them with memories.
Your youngest child, you didn't tell?
No, we said he's very poorly, and actually, she was 6 at the time, and I think it would have been too much for her to handle. So we just did it I don't know if that was the right or the wrong way, Jo. I'll never know. But I think only you know your children, and it felt like the right thing to do.
Everything in your lives then must have shifted, but you continue to live this happy family life. It was a happy family life.
Yeah, it really was. And I think it would be wrong of me to sit here and say, yes, it's great. I mean, there were some horrifically dark days, which I'm not sure how we both got through. We had some really happy times in those periods as well, where as a family we did a lot together, we'd laugh, and it became our new normal. So it wasn't all sad.
Can we talk about your final time skiing? Because you met, didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
And you were determined to take him up that mountain.
Yeah.
And you got him up there.
Yeah.
And all the time knowing this was going to be the last family holiday.
James and I, from the offset from his diagnosis, said that the children's lives would continue as normally as was possible throughout the entire thing. And this really was, I think, that final moment where we could really do that, because life for the foreseeable future after that ski trip it was going to be really bumpy and really rough. So we just needed to be together in a place that we all loved, where actually our mind could be taken off what we faced, what was coming.
Was that a turning point? Because did you know about Dignitas at this?
The turning point for me had been the January. So we'd been away at Christmas, which actually I thought would be our last time. And James had had a couple of falls whilst we were there, not hospitalisation falls, but falls. And at that point, he decided that was it. He'd had enough. So he signed up. But he contacted Dignitas then and said, I need a date. I need to know what I'm dealing with here.
And am I right in thinking he'd contacted them when he'd had a diagnosis?
Yeah. So
Wow.
yeah,
He hadn't told you.
Yeah, he did. He had told me, but I couldn't deal with it. So he told me when he called me from the neurologist's office in London, and he said, I'll fight for you and I'll fight for the kids, but I'm not going to see this through. I need to win, and it needs to be on my terms. And that was the thing about James. He won at everything in life, Joe. He was really, he just did. And this was going to be no different.
Yeah. Forgive me, I've always thought it was not simple at all, but you made a call, they made it happen. And that's just not the case, is it?
It's not the case, no. And actually, he kept me very separate from all of that because he wanted to protect me. So he, whilst he could type, would send all the emails to Dignitas, and he did. I think he had to pay quite a substantial fee to join up. It's something that, is not. That's the other thing about Dignitas. It costs a lot of money to go there. So not everybody has the financial means to do that. Throughout those months, he had to be seen by a psychiatrist every 6 months to check that he was of sound mind.
Right.
And that report would then be sent on to Dignitas.
Right.
He wasn't able to be on any medication. So if he was on antidepressants, he wouldn't have been able to go to Dignitas.
Once he'd made that decision, I would assume you'd want to go with him. But again, that isn't possible, is it?
No, it's not. And I really struggled with that. We made a lot of inquiries once he'd had the date, and we were categorically told that I couldn't be anywhere near him for fear of reprisal and a 14-year jail sentence on my return. I had 3 children, and he just said, you can't do that. That will always be one of the hardest things I think that I've got to live with.
How did you say goodbye to him?
So we'd had a lovely morning. We got out he'd made a huge memory box for the children. And whilst his hands still worked towards the beginning of his diagnosis, he'd ordered lots of photo books. And he said, please get the photo books out. So we did, and we sat, and tears streaming. And I don't think any of us could really understand what was about to happen. And then his lift arrived, and we helped him into the car and said goodbye.
I just think when we started this, I just said to you, this is so recent. It is so recent, and myself and others are making you relive it. And I don't know whether...
I think it's part of my therapy, Jen.
I was going to say whether it's part of your therapy. It's so generous of you. And I remember you saying on that podcast, it wasn't a case of him shortening his life. It was a case of him shortening his death. That is such a powerful phrase.
It was after Ransom. To see somebody you love suffer in such a way where there is no pain relief that can take that pain away. And that end was coming, I had to do the right thing. And for him, I had to let him go. And for the children too, because what he was facing was so horrific. And particularly, the cruelest thing about motor neuron disease is it takes those that are very fit and very able, and it literally robs them of everything. So I could not watch this proud man be robbed of his dignity.
No. And I met your daughter,
Yeah.
who is so cool and so together, and she witnessed all of us upstairs talking about this.
Yeah.
And she's your husband's daughter, isn't she? I mean, she's strong and beautiful and coping.
Yeah.
And do you think that started before he went? Do you think she and her brother had somehow gained some kind of strength to deal with this?
Yeah, I think for anybody going through trauma, and, in this room, we've all had trauma, and it's all relative, isn't it? And I think each one of us has a resilience that many of us won't ever have to experience, but believe you me, we all have it. And I think when you need to, it's there, and you dig deep and you find it. And I think what they did have with us is we had an incredible marriage, and we were incredibly happy.
I can see.
And there's so much love in that house. And they grew up with that.
And you know, someone said to me this week about losing someone really close. I said, I love this as well, that you love them more and more as the time goes by after your death. You love him more and more. He'd have been very proud of you sitting here, I'm sure. Is it on behalf of him? I'm not going to call it campaigning because you're not campaigning.
No.
What you're doing is lifting the lid on a situation that
I'm just trying
needs
to give
to
people choice, Jo. I think I really feel that things have to change, and I think choice is everything. And if James had a choice to have had an assisted death in the UK, then we would have had, without doubt, several weeks left together. And several weeks when you have a terminal diagnosis is a huge amount of time. Dear Martha went straight into her 16th birthday and then walked into an exam hall to sit her GCSEs. He could have been there to support her throughout that. And I feel that, yeah, choice is everything, and that's why things have to change.
Yes. To come out of this and to come out of discussions and to hear stories like yours, it means, I mean, I myself, when I heard your story, I knew so little about Dignitas. I just thought you made a call. It was your choice if you wanted to. I had no idea that even that is very, very difficult. So I think, if nothing else, people start to look at it and to research it. Would you agree?
The main worries are the safeguarding issues and the slippery slope, as the people that are against a sister dying are worried about. And I do understand all of that. But what I would say is that the safeguards that Kim Ledbetter is suggesting are pretty solid.
Yeah.
And I think it is, I just think it's time that there is change. And with those safeguards in place, I think it can be managed. And I think it will give that choice to people that want to have that choice.
Lottie, you're amazing. You're amazing. You met me upstairs with this big smile, and I just thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be one of the most, obviously, memorable interviews I've ever done. And I give you...
That's very, very kind.
Lottie, thank you for sharing your story. We recognise that not everyone will share the same perspective, but we all have the right to our own views, and that's why this issue is being debated in Parliament this Friday. If you feel strongly about the matter, there's still time to contact your MP, but a very, very big, heartfelt thank you to you, Lottie, and your gorgeous children.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lottie. And if you feel you'd like to support her, please reach out to your local MP before Friday of this week. Extraordinary woman, I think you'll all agree. Can we do a gear change now and talk about our lives and the things that we are loving in our lives, the things that give us pleasure, whether it's music or films, podcast, products. I'm going to kick off with you, first of all. Anna, what are you loving at the moment?
Oh, thank you. Okay, well, I brought them with me, if I may.
A show and
My
tell,
show
everybody.
and tell.
We love a show and tell.
So I was talking to Lisa about the use of red light, and Lisa's got her own version of that. But I'm really into red lights. Like red lights, this is one that you can. It's actually for here. It's supposed to be for your
deck,
yeah, but
I
use it on my head like this under my shower hat.
to stimulate.
And
hair,
here on
Does
my
it
stomach.
plug in?
Yeah, so you do this. You
Is it
just
battery?
But I just tie it. There you go.
Oh.
So I do this in the morning as I'm doing everything. So I
So
don't
what
have to
does-
stand still. I can keep moving all the time.
So what's it supposed to do?
So it stimulates the cells, cellular metabolism, which is something as we get older, it slows down. So it stimulates skin renewal. So your skin stops being as saggy, and it's really helped my saggy skin on my belly. It also stimulates hair growth if you put it on your head. And if you stand in front of big red light banks, which I do every day,
I wonder what they thought
gives
if I
you more
sat
energy.
in the green room at work with that on my head.
do it.
Honestly,
I didn't know I was about to do a tape.
I've never thought of
No, I've
putting
done
it
it on
on
a
my
plane
head.
before. I put the whole red light
Yeah.
face mask on my
Yeah,
on
like
the
that.
plane.
It's not very
Michelle.
comfortable.
No, you
one
can
would
get
know.
special ones for your head, but I'm
That's amazing.
I'm being a bit cheap and just
Are
using
they-
the same one everywhere.
Multitask.
Are they
Use it
expensive?
everywhere.
That's about 300 quid.
Right, okay.
But special discount on that
If
Friday.
it's done that to your hair, you have the best. Does she
And
not?
she's
have the
and
best
look at
hair?
her, you're just
I know.
That's from that, honestly.
But also, it gives you a gorgeous glow as well. It like really
It does.
helps.
I had
So
it
it's
under my,
worth
I was doing
investing.
this morning before the show. I did.
Oh my
Boosts
gosh.
collagen production
Right.
and like
everything.
Circulation.
And the other thing I love is that this talking about collagen production, right? So this is for the this is called Perfect Cleavage and Neck Serum. So as we know, this bit,
Oh, don't.
this bit of our, hang on, I've got to prime it.
I need gallons of that on my neck.
Neck and cleavage. Stop your neck from getting that turkey.
Thank you.
Turkey.
Like
Oh,
this.
smells gorgeous.
Yeah, it's subtle, right? So you can still use your fragrance over the top.
It's thick, but it really nice.
Really.
On your neck and on here, so that this area can stay nice and young. It's antioxidant, protects it from the
You can tell the moment you apply something whether it's going to
expensive,
work.
right? It smells like
The smell is
smells like an
really
expensive
nice.
spa.
So that's one of a whole range. That's
Yeah, the
taking time.
perfect range is all about different body parts. So we've got one for your legs, Perfect Leg Skin Miracle. In fact, somebody's wearing it today. Keep your legs, like, giving them a glow.
The producer's wearing
Producer's got it on. Yeah.
She's Look at her ankles, everybody. Unfortunately, you can't see, but amazing. Oh my gosh, Anna. Well, that is. I
So
love
that's,
that.
I'm loving this because I want to wear lots of jewellery this festive season. So if you know, you can make this area look a bit shimmery, a bit glowing.
And may I just ask, do you apply that after you've put the red light on?
Yeah.
Afterwards.
Yeah.
So you have clear skin.
Yeah, when you use red light, you mustn't use any SPF because it won't work.
Oh, right.
Clean
Okay.
skin straight after you've cleansed is best with the red
right.
light. Yeah.
Fantastic. Lisa, what are you loving at the moment?
It's kind of an extension of this. It's kind of self-care and beauty,
Yeah,
and I
self-care.
love the red light, but I love to use that in conjunction with a treatment that I have called thermage. Thermage.
How do you spell that?
It's T-H-E-R-M-A-G-E, so
Right.
thermage.
Not to be confused with fromage.
Fromage.
It's not cheesy.
No, it's not
No,
cheesy.
but it's a beauty treatment, and it's radio frequency, and it just really helps to give you that lift and that tighten. So along with the red light, it works so beautifully.
And you said one treatment. You
One
can
treatment,
see the
no
difference.
downtime as well. And what they do is they put this grid on your face with like a sort of transfer, and then they follow the grid, and it's radio frequency. There's a few little areas that you feel it, but other than that, it's super easy. So great for the neck.
Look
Great
at your
for-
definition. Look, go like that to the side. Look.
Oh my gosh, so you've got no
Lovely.
gels. I've got all these
Beautiful
gels.
definition.
And can you just kind of walk out and then just...
I did.
Go to
I
work
was a
after,
little
or
bit
which-
pink for a second, but you can just, there's no downtime.
Oh my
you don't
gosh.
have to
Oh,
like,
wow, I'm gonna
you
have
know,
to-
So
there's
where
no
is it?
bruises. So there's different clinics around the country. So you just, I don't know if we can put like a website or something, and you can go and find a therapist. I do it in London. I do it with Dr. Rita
Price
Rakers.
range?
do you
different
go
all
to
over?
Different
Rita?
price range. I go to Rita, I go to Dr. Gaylina,
Yeah.
who does
But
it
just
there.
one?
But it's great, just one.
Wow.
And it's great for the jaw, it's great for the jowls, the neck. They can do the eyes, the lip, you can do your butt.
The butt.
Your
Wow.
knees. Anybody got any like little areas that are going south down here? Which I
My
never thought
knees have turned
are-
into my mother's. I just looked at them. I mean, these are my mother's knees now.
But it's really safe, and it's like a really
my
nice treatment,
gosh.
and it just gives you that lovely contour
Oh, I
and
like the
boost.
sound of
and
that.
I like the
lift.
sound of that.
Yeah.
This show, I've learned so much, girls. I'm
I
gonna
know,
book
I
into-
don't know any. I'm
I know.
just like,
Come
oh
on,
my
we
God,
need a
come
whole
on,
day's
We'll
treatment.
do a little girly day of like beauty.
totally. Yeah.
Do a
Michelle.
thermage with me.
And sort my knees out.
Yeah. We'll do neck and knees.
I did win the knobbly knee contest once at Butlins when I was
No!
about 8.
I hope you still
it's
have
just
that
come back
medal.
to me.
But you
Just
grew
come back
out
to
of
me.
it. Obviously, you grew out of it. Michelle, what are you loving at the moment?
Okay, I did see this amazing film last night called Small Things Like This. Cillian Murphy. Oh my God, it's. Do you know what? It's a beautiful film. It is a little bit depressing, but I think it's something that we should. It's about the Magdalen laundries, in Ireland.
yes, and
and
the
this is
babies.
taken from a book. It's set in 1984. And Cillian Murphy, I mean, he's just an incredible actor. You just
Brilliant.
can't take your eyes off of him. And it's set in this small kind of village in Ireland where everything is ruled by the Catholic Church. And basically they take in girls who are either pregnant or they're mentally ill. It's a terrible, terrible place. And Cillian Murphy kind of is a coal man. Very different from Oppenheimer. Anyway, and he rescues a girl, and I think it's called The Small Little Things because it is about acts of kindness.
And is it
And a
based on
little-
the true story of this
It's
girl?
based on a kind of a true story, but I mean, the Magdalene. There's been lots
Yeah,
of films about
Till
the Magdalene
recently, I think it
laundries,
was
yeah.
that, yeah.
But it's just a beautiful, beautiful film, you know. And he is just so good. And I actually talked to my husband, who doesn't normally like things like that, and he was like, "Wow, I just love things that make you think."
Yeah, no, totally.
After, you know,
and do you just think that was happening until
and it's-
fairly recently?
Oh, 96 was the
awful.
last
That's-
one that
isn't
was
that-
closed down. And they found all these, sorry to take it a bit
No,
dark,
no.
but it's kind of life.
Yeah.
And also it's set at Christmas and it just kind of makes you feel how, you know, living in a world that we are just the small acts of kindness.
Yeah.
So, and he ends up taking one of these girls into his own home. He doesn't have much money, but it's an act of kindness and it's just such a beautiful film.
Oh, how gorgeous.
And also, what else? Oh, I love this. I use it all the time.
Is that
Skin
Weleda?
food.
Yeah.
Weleda.
So cheap. You can get it from Holland and Barrett. Everywhere, all the big stores have it. I use it for everything. It's great under makeup. It is brilliant.
I love that. Don't
Great
you,
this
Lisa?
time of the year
Yeah.
as well, because you want
because-
something really
well, they
nice
also
and
do the
rich.
light. This is the heavy, the dark, the
Yeah.
skin food. But I remember, like, back in the day, people wouldn't touch this Weleda stuff. Do you know, it was kind of old-fashioned, and they've repackaged it.
Oh, it's brilliant.
And
They've
it's
got some
really,
great stuff.
really good. And you
And
can use it on your
affordable.
hands, yeah.
Yeah.
What else? Also, I mean, I should be really promoting women, but I'm not. I'm promoting
Al
this.
Pacino.
So I listen to a lot of audio books. And I'm going to and podcasts, and I'm going to listen to yours.
Thank you.
And but a lot of audiobooks, and I ran out of audio because I had to pay the extra premium, which I didn't want to, so I bought the book instead. And also, you get all the pictures in a book.
I love
with
I'm
the
so
audio.
impressed you're reading a book. I really am so
well, I
impressed.
don't get a chance. I have about 5 different books by my bedside because I'm always reading scripts, but I try to read books because it's so important.
Yeah.
And this, honestly, what an incredible life this man has had. It's and came from a very, very working class background, single parent, no money, struggling actor till he was kind of in his late 20s. Anyway,
Who
it's a
wrote
really-
it? So
it's an autobiography.
It's an autobiography.
Yeah,
oh my
yeah.
God, I must read
So
that.
if you listen to the audio, you can listen. He's got a very
Wow.
deep voice like this. Ellie.
But you trust it if it's written by him.
But it is a really, really good book.
Can I just very quickly, I went to see Pamela Anderson do a Q&A on her film, The Last Showgirl.
Oh,
Can I
yes.
just please recommend it?
Amazing.
Because it is amazing, but she also said, I mean, I love Pamela Anderson, but she also said in the Q&A, my career has just started. And it goes back to how we started the whole show.
Yes,
you know?
just getting started.
It's
all of
She's
us.
had a
Yeah.
massive,
Embracing
massive
it.
kind of come
Hasn't
back,
she?
hasn't she? And again, she seems like somebody who's gone, you know what, I don't care anymore. She's gone for the whole non-makeup
no makeup.
look.
Natural.
She's so natural, and that amazing
really good
documentary.
actress. She's really, it's like these showgirls in Vegas who are just told they're too old, you know, and she's 57 dancing in the back
Is this
row.
a drama?
It's-
Or it's a documentary?
No, it's a drama.
It's a drama.
But it's based on what happens to the
Yes.
showgirls when they're put out to graze, basically, with all the feathers and everything. It's absolutely wonderful. It's brilliant.
Was that a BAFTA film? Did you go
Yeah,
see a BAFTA?
BAFTA,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's...
Oh my gosh, girls! I wish we could just stay here. I wish we could all go away with you two for Christmas. You
can. Just book a flight and come
Imagine that!
away.
I just turn up. I've loved it, and thank you so much to the three of you. Wonderful. Also to Lorraine and Deborah and Lottie, and I hope all of you enjoyed it as much as we did. We're back next week with our regular SheerLuxe show, which is fashion, beauty, food, and lots more. In the meantime, we would love it if you could comment under this. I answer as many comments as I can, as long as they're positive. And can you have a lovely day wherever you are? And say goodbye, girls.
Bye.
Have a wonderful
Bye.
Christmas.
Happy Christmas.